Hey everybody, this is Joel over here at Static ATX Records. I just wanted to make a quick video tonight, kind of give an update on the store and share a couple records that I recently picked up. Um, so I've been working pretty hard on fixing some inventory issues and working on the navigation on the store website. And I just kind of wanted to kind of highlight how this works. So this is staticatx.com. It's the website for the record store. And you'll see we got this menu up here at the top. We have shop all vinyl, shop all CDs, shop pre-orders, and then everything else. And everything else is videos, books, and supplies. I still have some stuff I need to add to these sections here, but I have a little bit of there. But the newer thing that I've been working on is these filters. So if you click on shop all vinyl here, up at the top, it opens up this thing, this view here, and you can see that it says there's 2,532 products, and then there's these filters that I put in. So you can filter by label. I've made it through about like 2/3 of the records that I have. The new it's mostly new that's on here. There's a couple used records on here. I put very little in the way of used records on here so far. This is just like a couple things that I had. But you can for everything that I've been through, you can kind of filter by label. So like here's 4AD, you can just show all 4AD records. I also have filters by genre. I don't, as of yet, I've not figured out how to do subgenre from that, like, or what like Disco is called style. I'll have styles on the records themselves over here when I specify a style, but I've not figured out how to make it appear in the filters yet because it's a freeform field. And then I also have these collections. So personal picks, these are things that I like, personal favorites of mine that I highlight here. I have all if something is an indie exclusive, I flag it here. There's Loser Edition, which is a Sub Pop thing, like Sub Pop's first edition. There's just a couple of them. Couple Record Store Day things. RSD Essentials, Rhino Hi-Fi, Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right, Rhino Reserve, Rocktober, and then I did one for the Plating and Sam 40th anniversary. I still have a handful of those. So hopefully, and it looks like there's some price, like this is like a basic price filter here. It doesn't let you sort from like lowest to highest or anything like that, but so I've been working on this, trying to make this work and hopefully make it easier to filter things on the website. Hopefully you can find things. So here's new releases. This is anything I flag as a new release. There's new arrivals, and all the filters show up as well there. New arrivals is basically anything that's new comes in that isn't a new release. There's used records, and then I've started this Record Store Day 2026 is not, I put this note here, it's not the complete list. I've just started putting things in here. And the reason I'm doing this is I want people to be able to see the price that I'm going to offer on these, so they can start comparing, with other places and see, how I compare the prices with other stores. I also may offer some kind of discount on top of this. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't had a chance to work it through in my head. We obviously have some things up. We don't put everything up for pre-order, but we put certain things up. I have started putting some videos on the website. These are like DVDs and Blu-rays. There's just a few, but there's some stuff on here. There's a mix of both new and used on here. So you have to click in and it should tell you if it's, the condition over here. It'll tell you whether it's new or used. I started putting some books on here. I have a lot more that haven't been put on the website. I pick and choose which books I want to carry. Um, so hopefully, some people are interested in that. And then my supply thing is all messed up. There's just these two things on here. I have some more stuff, and we'll get that on there. I just taken one thing at a time. Anyway, that's the update on the website. Hopefully, people like it. If you use the website, I'd love any feedback. If you have usability feedback. But I'm going to show some records that I recently picked up. Now, these are things that I picked up for myself. Some of these are also available in the store, but not all of them will be. The first is this. So this was released by Mute in conjunction with Gray Area. This is a reissue of Clock DVA's White Souls and Black Suits. This is an album that was originally released back in the 80s. Yeah, early 80s. It was originally on cassette only. I do have an original press. This is an original Italian press. And if you have, well, first of all, let me talk a little bit about this. So this is Clock DVA. Some of you may know Addie Newton. Clock DVA is closely associated with the industrial scene, like early industrial. But this album kind of straddles. It's almost like a post-punk album. It's it straddles the lines between industrial and post-punk, in my opinion. It's not straight industrial and it's not straight post-punk. It's kind of in between. It often gets saddled with the experimental label. And I think a lot of times people use the word experimental just to mean that it's challenging. I would not consider this album to be an easy listen. It's not pop music by any means. This is not your Clock DVA from the Buried Dreams era or anything current, like if you've seen them recently. This is, it's a little challenging. It's not caustic or like dissonant or anything like that, but it's, I like it. Now, the original, this was released on an Italian label, I think in Tempo. What was it released on? I could just look. I'm not even sure. What is this? I think it's just called Italian Records. I think later on it was also reissued by Contempo. Some of you are probably familiar with Contempo. I have a few other records from Contempo. So this is the earlier press. Came out in 1980. This was the first vinyl pressing, came out on a label called Italian Records. And I've had this one for a little bit. It's good. But what this album did, what the reissue did, is it's everything from the original album. So if you look at the back, you kind of have to turn it on its side. You can read it, some of the stuff this way. The track listing you have to turn sideways. So it's across two LPs. Up until the first side of the second LP is basically the original album, and then there's some additional tracks. So there's Brigade, Cage, Number Two, and You're Without Sound, and then it's pressed on gray vinyl. And they do if you do order it, it comes in polyline sleeves. I'm not going to pull the whole record, the records out. I listened to this whole thing earlier today. This is pretty cool. It comes with a booklet that I think this is replicating the original artwork in the cassette, but it comes in here. You see the lyrics. This is pretty cool. Even having the original, it's cool to have this. And then in the back, I believe this is the artwork from the cassette. Yeah, right here. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so this booklet is pretty cool to have with it. And it's across two LPs, like I said. And it sounds fantastic. I listened to the whole thing. I didn't do any kind of A/B with the original, but I've listened to the original bunch. It sounds very akin to one another. It didn't sound, and I do like the artwork. They did update the artwork. It's very cool. And there's the back. So yeah, and my understanding is they're going to be doing some other Clock TVA reissues of some earlier albums, which I'm all for. I mean, I have a lot of the earlier albums, like the originals, but I'm all for them repressing these, like Thirst and Advantage. Or I think they already are doing Advantage. They've already announced that. And maybe they did Thirst too. Obviously, it'd be great to get a Buried Dreams reissue. I have a couple original copies, but that's such a good album that I want like people to be able to check it out. So I'm all for that getting repressed. Okay, so another album that I picked up. It's not new, but it came back into my orbit, so I wanted to check it. I wanted to get it again. This is the group's name is Calexico. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's how it's meant to be pronounced. And the album's called Edge of the Sun. It was originally released on City Slang, and which is one of my favorite labels. City Slang is kind of I knew them from their electronic music, but this is a reissue that they did. It's on blue vinyl. I think they did it a few years back. I've never had this on vinyl before. I had it on CD back in the day. But this came back into my orbit because I was listening to a playlist and it started randomizing. And one of the songs from this album, and I want to say it was Moon Never Rises or World Undone. I can't remember which. I think one of them popped up in the playlist and I was like, oh, I remember that song. I love it. So I was like, I'm getting this again. So I got this. I played it in the store tonight. If you're not familiar with Calexico, they're under the indie rock banner, but with a lot of the bands in the 2000s. This album originally came out in 2015. And, it's indie rock. It's hard to describe it. It's got some flavors in there that are unique. But yeah, I don't know. Just check it out. My favorite album from Calexico, and I always forget the name, so I'm going to look it up here real quick. Is Garden Ruin is really good. Carry the Dust is really good. I don't know. They're just a band I like. I don't know. I dig them. Anyway, I picked this up and I'm happy for it. It's on blue vinyl. I think it's only on blue vinyl. It's not anything else. And this is something I was very happy about. So recently there's a store in town that was doing a sale on CDs, and I had picked up a CD of Sarah McLachlan's Solace, and I hadn't listened to it in a while, and I listened to it, and it's obviously a fantastic album. I already knew the album well, but I hadn't listened to it in a long time, and I was like, I wonder if there's a vinyl pressing. There obviously is an older one, but what was currently available was this. This was pressed by Analog Productions, which is, people in the BC will be familiar with Analog Productions, but they did this pressing, and when did they do it? It'd be helpful if I looked all this stuff up beforehand, which I didn't. So Analog Production, they did this in 2014. So I managed to find a copy. They spread it across 2 LPs. The original album was only 1 LP. If you're not familiar with this album, this is Sarah McLachlan's second solo album. Her first solo album was Touch, which I wasn't planning this, but I do have it sitting right here next to me. Touch is great. Solace is her second album. To me, I think Touch is great, and I love it. I think she's kind of finding her own thing with her own style or her vibe with this album. I really love this album. And then her third album, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy, that's when she goes to the roof. That album is freaking amazing. And then Surfacing comes out, and that's when the world gets to know her, right? Or the rest of the world gets to know her. But Solace is amazing. Obviously, the big hit off this album was Drawn to the Rhythm. If you like Sarah McLachlan at all, even a little bit, and you don't know Drawn to the Rhythm, listen to it. But this whole album is amazing. And this pressing from Analog Productions is extremely good. First of all, this packaging, I've always loved their packaging. It's super, super heavy-duty cardboard. The records are in anti-static sleeves, as you can see here. It's a huge gatefold. Gonna open it up. The lyrics on one side, artwork on the other. I actually don't have an original copy of this album, so I don't know if the original was a gatefold. My guess is it probably wasn't, but this one is. It's not numbered or anything. Not that I would care one way or another. The Path of Thorns, Into the Fire, such a good song. This whole thing is such a great album. Anyway, I listened to this and it's excellent, and I'm very happy to have it in the collection along with the CD, which honestly the CD is fine. In fact, I might have the CD on my desk. Do I? Oh, but I do have Kenny G. Hell yeah. Anyway, that's what I picked up recently. Like I said, check out the website. I did put a promo code on the website. There's two different ones. I'm only going to tell you about one of them. The other one's top secret, but they do the same thing. If you use code Vinyl Community, you can get 15% off your first order online on the website. It's a one-time use code that I put in there for folks to use. And yeah, I'm going to go get some sleep, and then the store will be open at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll see what else we got going on. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.